A common question I get is, should I use a HELOC to renovate my home? Well, the first thing I want to explain is it has to do with what you owe on your mortgage currently, how much your house is worth right now, how much it's going to be worth once the repairs are completed, and what's your interest rate on your current mortgage. So HELOCs are second mortgages, specifically home equity lines of credit. A HELOC is always going to have a higher interest rate than first mortgages or primary mortgages would have in today's market. Now, if you have a super low interest rate on your current first mortgage, you don't want to give that up. So HELOCs are a great option, but it's going to depend on the ratio of your balance on your low rate versus the balance on the HELOC. If you're lucky enough to have done a loan back in 2020 that has an interest rate of 2.5%, and you paid it down and you only owe $50,000 on your 2.5% loan. And you say, John, I need $200,000 to renovate my home. Awesome. But here's the deal. Your $200,000 is going to be at, 8-9% interest rate versus you could do a new first mortgage in the 6s right now. Now, this is recorded in early 2025. Interest rates change all the time, but the theory doesn't change at all. Which is, wait a second, I'm going to owe $50,000 at a low number and $200,000 at a much higher number. Maybe I'm better owing all $250 at some number in between. That's called your blended rate. And your blended rate is not simply the average between your current rate and the rate you're going to get on the home equity line of credit. It's a weighted average. Because if you're at 2.5% on this loan and you have the option of being at 9.5% on the other loan, your average is not the dead center between the 2.5 and the 9.5. Your average is weighted based upon where you owe the biggest amount of money. And I can help you have a blended rate calculator that can help you to be able to figure that out. So you can reach out to me. You can go to canirenovate.com. And you can click request a consultation and we can have a conversation about your blended rate to see if it makes sense to use a second mortgage or should you refinance everything into a new first mortgage. The other thing you have to think about is, should I use a home equity line of credit or a home equity loan? So home equity lines of credit are usually variable rates, although more and more now there are fixed rate options for home equity lines of credit. But if you're planning on maxing out the entire amount, it's going to hurt your credit score. A home equity line of credit is exactly the same as a credit card. And if you max out a credit card, that means you have high utilization. You're spending a high percentage of the available credit, and that tells the credit system that you have no self-control. I know it's not true. It kind of sucks the way the credit system looks at it. But if you have all your credit cards maxed out, then it says, hey, if you had another credit card, you'd go max it out too. Well, a home equity line of credit works the same in the eyes of the credit reporting system as a credit card. And so if you only have $100,000 of lendable equity and you need to use all of that money for your renovation, you might be better off getting a home equity loan instead of a home equity line of credit. Because a home equity loan works like your mortgage or like your car loan. You get a set dollar amount right now. You can't draw back against it later, but it doesn't impact your credit score by being fully maxed out. The challenge is, on a home equity loan, you start paying interest on the full amount right away. On a home equity line of credit, you say, you know what, I need $100,000, but I only need $20,000 now, and I'll need the other $30,000 in 6 to 9 months. Then maybe the line of credit's better because you only need $50,000. Get a line of credit for double what you need. That way your utilization is never more than 50%. That's the golden rule. Ideally 25% utilization, but on home equity lines of credit, getting a line of credit 4 times the amount of what you need might be a little excessive. So at least double the line of credit amount compared to the amount you expect to need is going to keep your credit from getting damaged too much. So your options are, do I do a full refinance? Do I do a home equity line of credit, or do I do a home equity loan? In some of those scenarios, let us pay attention to what your house is worth after the repairs instead of right now. Because sometimes you're going to run options and we're going to say, you know what? You don't have enough equity in your home to pull any cash out. And in that case, we do what's called a renovation loan, where we're controlling the money and specifically using that for renovation funds. Now, most people think, well, John, that requires me to refinance and do a new first mortgage. Not true. We have options that allow us to use your after improved value on a second mortgage. So you can keep your first mortgage low interest rate, get a second mortgage, and on that second, we're looking at what the home is worth after the repairs are completed. I've got a lot of flexible options, so please reach out to me, schedule a consultation so we can talk about it. Check out my library of YouTube videos, and don't forget to go to my website, canirenovate.com. Blog articles there and a link to request a consultation with me. I am interviewing to be your lender to take care of you and all of your mortgage needs. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel.